Dig it! Welcome to Hardheaded Podcast. We're excited that you've joined us as we have a conversation.
It's time to join the conversation.
All right, welcome to another Hardheaded episode number 138 today. Just keeps on going up.
It keeps going up every week. There's
every week.
another episode.
There's another episode.
So
Today,
138 weeks, if you want to look at it like that.
yeah,
That's not really true though, because we at least four episodes in the first week.
so,
Did you remember that?
Yep, I do remember that.
Okay.
Yeah, didn't we record like 8 at a time or something?
No, we just did 4. We wanted 4 in the can before we started our cycle.
Oh, that's correct. Well, today you're going to hear a good word from Chet. We're going to talk about our top 3 overrated big game. And I'm excited to announce, folks, Mr. Matt
studio.
Amos is back in the studio.
In studio. We
Yes.
missed you, Matt. And we haven't, this is the first time that we've talked to Matt since he's been back.
Yeah, so welcome, sir. I'm eager to hear what you did and what's on your mind today.
Before we get there,
Before what?
before you tell me what's on your mind, I got something to share with you guys.
Roaring River State Park Lunker Award.
So from now on, I want you guys to refer to me as
Lunker?
Chet Roaring River State Park Lunker Awarded Sears.
How about just a lunker?
No?
Now, is that the one where you pay
Huh?
to go in and fish because they?
Everybody pays to fish, Matt. Everybody.
But
You buy licenses, and that's paying to fish.
do you pay twice?
Huh? What are you talking? I don't know what you're talking about.
He paid for that patch he's got right there.
I did not pay for that patch. I was awarded. Let's not call it a patch. It's an award.
For going to a piece of stocked river and catching a fish. I mean, that's cool.
I mean, I bet I could get the Lunker Award there.
Yeah,
Not a
I
big
mean,
deal. Almost caught one with my hands the last time I was there, you know. Yeah, it was about that big, too.
Whatever.
For those listening, Chet is showing us fish on his phone.
That is
It looks like it's about a
24-inch long rainbow trout, 6 pounds, 8 ounces, caught in the state of Missouri this morning.
6 pounds.
6 pounds, 8 ounces.
Wow. You were there this morning, huh?
This morning. What have you guys done that's real manly today? Not catch lunkers, not get awards from the state park of Missouri.
this from somebody who
I was in a bowling tournament.
Hey. Oh, is this one of those trips that people pay to go on with guides on rivers that are stocked by nature, but nobody else is allowed to fish?
stocked by nature, not stocked by man. That's all I'm saying.
How many people were there you competing against to catch this fish? How many people had thrown a lure at the fish that you're about to show me and were denied until you showed up with superior skill and luck? Because I really don't know.
I mean, all I'm saying is I didn't have to go to a stocked river to get this done.
It doesn't have to be a competition, man. I know it's hurting your pride to know that I caught bigger trout than you have today. But
I'm trying to find the picture.
just celebrate with me for a minute.
Trout, but
celebrate with me for a minute, Matt. Can I hear you say it? Good job, Chet.
no,
Nice.
not on a stocked piece of river.
Huh? That's a. You know what the average size of a fish that's caught there is? Like a half pound.
Hey, Matt. So anyway, we were talking about, we were going to get to what's on your mind.
I'm not
what's
going
on
to
your mind?
I'm not going to get a congratulations from you either.
Matt, what's on your mind there?
Jealous, jealousy. Hey,
Keep it up, lunker.
I need a needle. I need a needle and thread. I go to sew this patch on real quick. So every
I wish I
can't you
could
just
find that
iron
picture.
it on?
every time that you look, you're fishing for a picture and you can't even catch it.
Well, because I've caught so many trout.
No. All right, what's on your mind, man? I got him so distracted. He's on tilt right now.
Tilt.
He doesn't like it. He can't stand it when people catch fish, and he was in the office.
Yeah. Matt, what do you got?
Well,
he's still looking for that picture.
I know it's somewhere
he can't
close.
Stand it. He can't stand
You
it.
got him. It's his first day back, and you got him all frazzled.
But-
I know.
No, not frazzled. But so anyway,
I love it.
while I've been gone,
There's a song about that.
no, that's since you've been gone.
Since you've been gone. Yeah.
You can't sing it about yourself.
But I get tired of woke anything,
Okay.
right? so much so that I'm even tired of the word woke.
Oh, I'm tired of the word too.
Right? So
what's the definition again?
I don't even know. I don't
I'm
care.
gonna look it up.
You look it up. But I've kind of gone back. So like all this new TV that's coming out that has all the virtue signaling, all the stuff going on where they're trying to make everything okay and everything's normal and you be you and that's okay. I've gone back and started watching episodes from or shows from like the 50s.
The 50s? You're way back.
And 60s. So like I went back and started watching Andy Griffith Show, The Rifleman, and kind of going through and just watching some of those episodes and then kind of progressing forward until, and it looks to me, there's obvious periods of adjustment. But there was did you know that The Odd Couple, they remade it off the original, and then they remade it again with Matthew Perry and the dude, Captain Dangle from Reno 911, or Lieutenant Dangle. I don't know if you've ever seen Reno 911, but anyway, so they remade it with them, and that was back in like 2015. And I mean, and it was normal. Like there was none of the ridiculous stuff going on and I think that turn was like 2016 when Trump was elected. I think that's when everything really started to like, everybody was, hey, this is me. This is what I want to do, because everybody thought that Trump was some kind of racist, homophobe or whatever. I don't know. But if you look at the media and TV shows and stuff like that, really it was kind of around that 2015 mark when everything started to get really like, oh, we've got to watch what we say and we've got to do things a certain way.
So you're not talking having TV shows that are progressing an agenda, a quote unquote woke agenda. You're talking about the removal of shows that don't support it, because the 90s is when that alternative lifestyle started to become more mainstream in TV.
Right. Well, yeah. But what I'm saying is, but they didn't, it's not like they really made it the focus of what they were doing. It was just kind of like, oh, they were introducing.
If maybe they were thinking exactly that.
But I mean, and it's a slow progression, right? I mean, they started just kind of like your rights. It slowly erodes away. Yeah. They're starting to slowly build it up, to make it more norm, more mainstream, whatever. But, going back to some of those shows and just watching good TV about being, doing the right thing and trying to be a good person, I thought was pretty darn good. And some of those episodes were pretty funny. And then I got on a Don Knotts run where I started watching.
He's funny.
The Shakiest Gun in the West, and then the Apple Dumpling Gang, and then the Apple Dumpling Gang Rides Again, and he was super funny. But I've been going back because I'm just so sick of current TV that I've just been going back and watching old episodes from like the 50s and 60s and 70s even, and older movies and stuff like that before all this stuff was just like in your face 24/7. It's just kind of a nice, refreshing relief from all of that stuff. So that's kind of what I've been doing on my time away, is
watching old TV.
Every hour, every minute of the day.
That's a very unique way to justify. Chet, you've been out catching lunker trout, but I've been watching TV.
I've been working.
Because I'm anti-woke.
Look, you can't say that you've been working harder than Chet. We all know Chet can't even take off an hour early.
That's true.
To go home because, he's got to prove that he's more man and he knows more about the weather, and he's got this meteorological hubris that he just knows more than everybody about the weather.
I had a buddy, Greg, tell me just the other day is sometimes right, but never in doubt. That cracked me up.
What's that?
He described me as sometimes right, but never in doubt. Yeah.
Nice.
I can see that.
Pretty close.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I'm just tired of hearing it. Like I'm over it.
So you think you think it's going to change or no?
I think it's got to.
What's going to change it?
I think people are just, there's a lot of people that are just getting fed up overall with it. I mean, when you alienate 50% of your audience that just doesn't want to hear that stuff anymore, I mean, ratings are going to drop, and you got to change something. More recently, you look at Jason Aldean and his song, and I don't even know if it's a good song or not. I haven't heard it, but they try to, we're not going to play that because it's offensive or whatever. And it rocketed it to number one. Was it a plan? Maybe. I don't know.
Did he write the song? No.
Probably not. Most of those guys don't.
Right. I saw a meme. You sent that meme.
What?
The Uvalde.
Oh, yeah, I did send that.
Not all small towns are great.
Yeah. Yeah. Uvalde. Try that in small town.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, cancel culture is getting rid of old movies that have stuff that's offensive in them.
They're not getting rid of them. They're replacing them. And so I read an article that was, I can't even remember where, that was talking about it's not like an effective way to rewrite history is to remake what we remember that had virtue, but remake that story to
fit the current,
so Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I'm sorry, the new one doesn't have dwarves. Did you know this?
What is the Snow White and the Seven? What is it?
I don't know what they call it, but the seven that they showed in a leaked photo of the cast in costume filming a scene, there are 7 DEI. It's like checks all the diversity, equity, and inclusion categories.
Oh, it hadn't been released yet, right?
No. No, it's just like a leaked photo.
Yeah. No, and I heard
there's one short person, and the rest are full-grown people. So they're not dwarves.
And some of them are women, and some of them are trans.
And I don't think they have the same, like grumpy, sleepy, sneezy. They're not.
Yeah.
It's not the same anymore. But anyway, the strategy is not to like ban all of that stuff. It's just that everything that we know from all of the older stuff is being remade so that the kids that are growing up now, when you say, oh, I love Snow White, they're going to think you love that new Snow White because that's all they know because the other one was replaced.
Yeah.
So that's how you change the culture is you go back and remake actual true stories that were there and you're making them different.
Yeah.
Troy just feared that he didn't hit the record button.
No, I was looking at the time. I knew I did hit it.
Oh. Okay.
Why are you bored?
No, you know why? Because that one of the episodes we recorded while you were gone, we finished it. And he's like, this is the one I dialed into on the phone. And he said, hey, man, we're going to have to just go back and talk about everything that we talked about at the first part of the episode because I didn't start recording until we were about 10 minutes in.
Perfect.
That's why I thought he was flinching on the...
No, I was looking at the time.
And with all things recorded live, if you try to do it again, it's not as good, in my opinion.
No, it's not.
Yeah, so you just get it real.
It's like reheated pizza. It's not as good as the first go around. It's good, not as good.
Right, which you could do with pizza. You can't do with French fries.
And by the way, I haven't had a chance to listen to the episodes, but I did have somebody call me and tell me that you two were saying that I was going through a transition. So not the case.
Yeah.
Yes.
Still got the old twig and berries, boys.
Good to hear that.
I mean, I didn't know what was going on. I thought you were in Colorado, but apparently you weren't.
Secrets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you didn't come back as Mary. That's good.
Yeah.
Mary?
That was the joke.
Oh, no.
I didn't make that joke. I just said you were transitioning.
Yeah.
Maybe you were transitioning states, transitioning vacation spots.
State lines. Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be.
And then he's like, oh.
County lines.
I'm very woke, so
Yeah.
I went straight to the wokeness factor.
Oh, speaking of,
It's ingrained in your brain.
we keep talking because I got something.
Snow White and the 7
Maybe it's just
DIYUs.
maybe it's just Snow White.
Well, they remade it like Snow White and the Huntsman. They didn't call it 7 Dwarves. But, hey, whatever.
It could be what it is again.
Maybe so.
Although hunt, it's a little offensive.
That is an offensive word.
And maybe in the Gatherman. Snow White and the Gatherman.
There you go. Yeah. So, what was your favorite series from the 50s that you watched?
Man, it's tough. From the 50s, I'm not sure, but I
just
think
from all the ones you were watching?
I really liked the Andy Griffith Show until Don Knotts left. So basically 5 seasons in. And then I think he left. I can't remember I think season 5 was his last season on the show. But I think he really kind of made it, even though they bought Gomer.
Yeah.
You know.
Did you ever see his movie Private Eyes?
Yes.
It's
Don Knotts is
hysterical.
good, man.
I haven't seen that one yet.
It's really good.
I've got a list of Don Knotts stuff that I'm trying to slowly go through.
I think you can probably get it on Amazon on DVD. I think I got it for Ashley one year for Christmas or something. It's one of her favorite movies.
I will say the one recent movie that I watched was is it The Contract? With Jake Gyllenhaal.
Gyllenhaal.
Yeah. No, I hadn't seen that.
The Contractor? The Contractor?
No, The Covenant. That's what it's called, The Covenant.
No.
So basically, it's not based on any true story, but it's based on things that have happened on many stories. But it's about an Afghan interpreter that saves a soldier's life, and then his life's being threatened, and the soldier's back home, and then finds out that he's in trouble and works to get him back to the States. And it's decent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a bad movie. It's all right.
I can't find it, but I'll tell you what it is. It's hilarious. And it came across in like one of these shorts, like a reel or whatever else. And it said, it was a dude interviewing a person with purple hair. Not that all people with purple hair have these views, but do you believe that we should be transitioning our children? And she responded, absolutely. And then the guy said, to Christianity. And she's like, no, like this immediate. And then of course, then it turns to away from the video clip, but it's like, well, there's so many people saying that we can't push religion on kids in schools. Why should we be pushing anything else?
Any agenda.
On kids in schools.
Yeah.
So, we could come out as we're pro-child transition to Christianity. And let's take over that movement.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought that was good.
That was a good meme I saw today.
Matt, I'm glad you're back because my memes are getting better through the messages.
Yeah, I do that pretty well.
All right. Well, thanks for coming back.
You have a patch that says how good you are at that?
No, I have a buckle.
A meme buckle?
No, a belt buckle for fishing.
I was talking about memes.
I've made the award like 3 times.
I was talking about memes.
But memes, no, I don't have an award.
Out of how many people?
12?
I'm fishing against hundreds of thousands of people.
Hundreds
in
of
the state.
thousands.
All right, folks, we'll be right back. We're going to take a quick break and be back with our top 3 overrated big game.
Yeah. Did you even say what the top 3 was at the beginning?
We
of the
did.
show?
Yeah, overrated big game.
I wasn't listening.
Where were you?
I was tuned out.
He was
Apparently.
He was thinking about how he's going to build himself up.
Lunker.
At Admiral's Pennant, our mission is to offer the latest and refined, high-quality masculine products and services to the modern gentleman, as well as provide him with the tools and products necessary to look, act, and feel confident in his appearance and social interactions. Check it out at admiralspennant.com. Without it, you might as well shave.
And we're back. Chet's still rambling about his big trout, but we're gonna get to overrated big game, and it's probably big trout is number one on your list. So
it's in my truck right now.
So let's hear it, Chet. What do you got? What do you got? Overrated big game. Top 3. You're first.
Number 3, Cuous Deer. Overrated. Everybody talks about hunting it is designer.
I don't even know what a Cuous Deer is.
Exactly. It's the upper echelon of the elite hunter that has nothing better to do than to go and buy, what's that brand of stuff that costs a whole lot of money? The camo brand?
All of it?
The Sitka. It's Sitka wearing hunters with nothing better to do but go shoot like the smallest deer family animal that exists. I mean, and we'll catch a javelina while we're out there. Yeah. Well, anyway, number 3. Number 2, and I was only influenced by one individual to make this decision, and that individual's in this room. Matt Amos has me at mule deer is overrated game because people would go shoot it and it tastes horrible. Make a good mount. I'm hunting mule deer in the backcountry, but like you don't want to eat it. So
I don't know. I'd much rather shoot a big whitetail than have a mule deer. I just think they look better.
I may be able to argue with you on that.
On the wall?
It kind of depends.
I don't think there's not a big enough distinction between the two. Like I see a monster mule deer mount on the wall. It looks just as good to me as a monster whitetail mount.
No.
Number 1, water buffalo. Like that looks like a cow. So
have you ever eaten one?
No, I have not. But you got to bring it back from Africa.
Yeah.
So I'd rather eat something that was grown in the United States of America.
Well, and I don't think
really
you can
does
actually
look like a cow.
Bring the meat back from Africa, but you can shoot high fence water buffalo here, which I haven't done, but I've had the meat. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
It tastes really good.
I've had some really good other meats that I think are more awesome big game that I'll stick with.
I mean,
I don't think it's so good that it would overcome moose. Nilgai.
No, nothing touches nilgai.
So that's where I am. That's my number 1. And it's the VeggieTales sing a song about it. So
you can't kill it?
No, it's just overrated.
Okay.
If it's so in pop culture that the VeggieTales are singing about it,
it's overrated.
Yeah, that's not a big game. Like, you know what it is? That's a children's song is what that is.
All right.
Okay, there you go.
Matt, what do you got?
Number 3, and it's technically not big game, but and so that's why this one.
Wait, didn't he come up with these?
Yeah, he
and
did.
Now he's not even
technicality.
Oh my god!
This would be my number 1 if it fit the category 100%. But number 3 is ducks.
What?
Overrated.
That's not big game.
That's not a big game.
That's what I said. It's not technically big game, but it's a
overrated for what?
Okay,
literally everything.
I got one.
What?
Literally
You're just trying to get
everything.
under my skin.
No.
Hey, just look at the grin. Look at the grin on his face.
My number 3, a mouse.
Yeah.
That's my top 3.
Technically, it's not a big game unless you're an ant. It's huge.
It's all about perspective.
Well, give me your reasoning outside of it being way out of the category. Like what?
People get so fired up and so crazy about ducks, and they taste awful.
No, they don't taste awful.
You just don't know how to cook them.
Yeah.
Then y'all need to prepare some duck for me that's actually good.
I see what you're trying to do here. I don't need to feed you with stuff that I harvest.
Yes, you do. If you want to change my mind, yes, you do.
That's his. He's weaseling his way into a free meal. That's what he's doing right here.
All right. Well, Neil guy's on my number 1 then because I want to try it.
The way you treated me about my trout, I'm not going to let you eat trout or duck.
That's fine. Number 2.
It's fantastic, and I will tell you what people get scared, and this is why. And then I'll share some with you. They treat it like chicken, and that you've got to cook it to done. From a wild game perspective,
Well, a lot of people do that with
all foods.
Yeah.
But it's gotta be medium rare. And if it's that, it tastes completely different than if you cook it well. That's what everybody gets wrong on duck.
And the whole like jalapeno and cheese, wrapping it in bacon, that's That's for dove. That's not for duck.
It's amateur. In my opinion, I have no creativity anymore.
I like the flavor of that, but
Huh?
I like the taste of that.
Yeah, but people think that's the only way you could eat dove.
No, it's not the only way
that you could eat duck.
No, because dove to me is a very rich meat that's got a lot of flavor in it. I enjoy just grilling dove.
That's what I'm saying. I like stuffed peppers. Just because you killed a dove doesn't mean that you have to fish.
That's not the only way.
Yeah.
Right.
The same thing.
Stuff a pepper outside of dove season. Let me eat a stuffed pepper in July, for goodness sake. I don't have to wait till September.
I eat them year round. Football season.
Well, I'm just saying the way people wait till they cook dove with it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, why haven't you planted sunflowers on your place so we could go shoot dove?
So they actually came up naturally. You know, I used to have a huge patch of sunflowers out at the house, and to the point where I actually had to replace my belt on my mower because I would hit those and it would just vibrate the belt off, and then I got the bad boy mower and that mows over everything. But they actually started coming up naturally again. So I've got a few sunflowers out there.
You got some doves out there?
They're
already in the area.
Oh yeah, they're in. I've got two that are camped out in the tree in my front yard that every time I walk by.
You haven't named them, have you?
No.
Okay, because they're gonna die.
It's almost time. It's almost time for them to die.
Got to kill them both though, because they mate for life.
Yep. Well, they're both going to die together. Anyway, number 2.
No, they mate for life. If you kill one of them, they're not mates anymore. One of them's on the market. The other one's on the plate or in a stuffed pepper.
They don't get back on the market though.
Yeah, they do.
So you got to shoot them both.
I don't believe that one bit.
Number 2.
Where's the science?
Mule deer.
Mule deer.
Mule deer.
Overrated. And that's the only reason is because they taste awful. And there's going to be some people that, oh man, the stuff I had was great. It's like, oh, that's fine. But my experience has been that it's been awful and I don't need to shoot another one.
Yeah.
And then number 1, man, this is tough. Wild sheep.
Okay.
And
it's tough because you have affiliates.
Yeah, and it's not because they don't need to be protected, and it's not that we don't need to not conserve them or raise money to conserve them, and organizations like the Wild Sheep Foundation do an incredible job of putting programs in place to preserve these animals. Mm-hmm. But when a tag is $140,000,
no way.
Oh, and that's that's low end. You know what I mean? Unless you draw a tag. And then you still got to either go on your own,
right,
or get a guide, and then you're in it for at least 20.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I've seen tags go as high as $495,000 for one tag. So when the prices are that high now, and of course that's charity and the price of that tag may only be $5,000. And so it's a $490,000 donation. I get that side of it, the fundraising side, but the average person, they'll never, get to experience hunting a wild sheep just because the costs are so prohibitive. And I know that a Dall sheep is probably the easiest one to get, and you're still probably in that $35,000 range to go shoot that.
Yeah.
And so it's just, to me, for what you get, you get the story, and it's an incredible hunt, difficult hunt, because they're not in the easiest places to get. I just wish it was more. Maybe I wish it was more accessible to more people.
Right.
To where it wasn't just a rich man's game.
Now, is it really on the conservation side? Is it really like they need help because they're in like remote places that nobody can get to?
Yeah, well, and they are, but there are a lot of predation from bears that now you can't hunt the bears and you can't hunt the predators in certain locations, and wolves are being reintroduced. And so, now it's a matter of getting these back to areas where they used to roam because they'd been depleted or decimated. And it's not just in the United States. The Wild Sheep Foundation does that worldwide. And they help conserve a lot of other animals as well. It's not just wild sheep, but that is their main focus.
Let's talk about bears. Did I send you that video of that bear fight that was 10 minutes long?
I don't know if you sent it to me, but I saw it.
Yeah. Dude.
Where that guy's sitting there like, normally they don't go this long.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Yes. There were wildlife videographers and photographers. Yeah. Troy.
What was it?
2 grizzly bears got into it and it was able to film the whole thing. But one of them is
cocaine bears?
No. I'm telling it's not even funny. Like it is an awe-inspiring.
They might have been on cocaine.
I've 10 minutes of them ferociously tearing each other apart. Like,
wow.
I mean, more than wild. The guy, I think there was like a bear guide and then a film crew. And the guy that was getting them on the bears, just from the commentary in the videos, because he's like, hey guys, they're going to fight. Okay, you guys need to get close to me. Let's keep filming. If they start moving our way, we're going to move backwards. You know, he's kind of going through that. And then he's like, throughout, he's like, oh my gosh, I've never seen a bear fight last this long. This is crazy. This is the longest. And that was like at minute 4. And it goes 10 minutes.
Wow.
And it was.
So what do they normally do? Just kind of box each other and scratch and
no, they get
on with
I
it?
think they really do get after it, but I think one of them realizes I'm not going to win this and I'm going to die if I stay in the fight. And
so they take off.
This dude actually, the bear that wins leaves. It's really weird. The guy's talking through it. Like he's like, well, the bear that wins will be the one that walks away, and the one that lost will have to stand there with his head down. Like, and he's like, the one on the left lost, so he'll stay there. And dude, that's exactly what happens. But it was. I think they go hard, but they just don't go hard for a long time because they could clearly see, hey, I'm getting dominated. This is over. I need to end it. But this was, I mean, fur is just flying. Like they're.
Where can I see this?
I'll send it to you later.
Yeah,
you can't watch it right now because it's too long.
Yeah, it was a.
We got to put a link in the show notes for that, so other people can see it too.
I saw it on Twitter, so I don't know if I can link to Twitter, which is now being called X.
Sure.
Elon Musk is changing that.
Musk is changing it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, he can do what he wants.
I've been out in the wilderness for the last 3 days, and you guys don't know all this stuff is going on? You've been hearing Civilization. Matt's been watching ancient black and white TV.
Yeah,
I've camped where you were, and there is a signal there, so.
They actually have Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Chet's really been roughing it.
Yeah, out on the river.
Hey, whenever we finally do our roughing it weekend, let's just go there. Roaring River State Park.
Maybe we can all get patches that say Lunker.
Right. They're only $12.99.
You can't. I gave it to me. Look on there. I'm on their website. It made the news. It made the news. Like Lunker. By the news, I mean they posted my picture on the website. It's on the internet.
Great job.
No, but so the running joke is I was there with my buddy Tim, and we had a text string with Tim's wife and my wife, and we were talking about how we would rough it, and like look at this, like this squirrel came really close and took a picture of it, like, oh, wildlife, the wilderness is, ignore the paved campground driveway in the background of this photo. Everything was like, oh, we're out in the ignore the such and such.
All right, is it my turn?
It's your turn, Troy.
All right, number 3, largemouth bass.
Is that big game?
Well, if ducks are,
I'll allow it.
The pictures get old, man. I love that you can catch largemouth bass, and I've caught some.
Are you talking to me directly?
No, I'm talking to everybody out there.
The pictures get old. Who's sending you pictures?
Number 1, trout. I changed my number 1.
14-pound trout from Roaring River. Yeah, let's just eat the bass. Why can't we eat them?
You can.
But a lot of people don't.
They encourage you to eat them.
But a lot of those largemouth bass people frown on you and disgrace you if you eat it.
If it is outside of the slot, keep it.
And I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm more fed up with the whole thing around that than I am with actually
the management of it.
Yeah.
There are some snooty bass of all the freshwater. I can't even say that. Never mind. Because the trout fishermen are more snooty than bass fishermen. But bass fishermen spend more money than trout fishermen. If they have a boat.
If they have a boat.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't need to go off. This kayak fishing trend is getting out of hand. But no, we'll talk about that another time.
Okay. Number 2, mule deer.
Hey.
I agree.
That was number 2 on everybody's list, I think.
Yes.
But I don't even know if I've ever had one, like eaten one, but I just think whitetail they look so much better hanging on the wall. Now I would shoot a mule deer. Don't get me wrong. But, and number 1, lions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you still upset about Cecil the lion?
No, I don't even know what happened to Cecil. What happened to Cecil?
That dentist shot Cecil the lion and
Everybody started threatening the dentist's life for shooting.
Well, that's stupid. But I will say, like, me personally, I don't know if I could ever go lion hunting. I think I would just be in awe of the creature. I don't know if I could shoot it. Unless it was about to kill me, then I would definitely shoot it. But that is something for me personally that I'm not like, oh yeah, let's go lion hunting. But I know a lot of people do it, and that's fine. But I think it's overrated.
Yeah.
And it costs a lot of money from what I hear to go
about $40,000.
Do a lion hunt. So yeah.
To shoot the lion's about 40.
Wow.
40,000.
Well, then you got to get over there and you got to find a place to stay and all that
I think it'd be awesome to go kill one that like needed to be killed because it like messed with a village or something like that. But I wouldn't want to just put a gut pile out there and stake it out.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. I don't know. There's something about the lion that just I don't think it needs to be tamed or hunted. That's just me though.
I mean, do they make a cool mount?
Well, yeah.
Awesome. But are you going to eat it?
Right.
And there may be people over there. I've heard people say that lion tastes great, but of course,
I've heard people say the mountain lions taste great.
I've heard that too.
Yeah.
And I'm more inclined to believe that.
So I had a friend that went over there for a big trip, and each day they were getting a different animal, right? And they had a chef at the village where they were staying that would cook whatever they killed that day, and they would eat it that night. And then they would ship some of the rest home or whatever. And one of the last nights they were there, the chef was like, zebra, because she didn't speak any English, but she was saying zebra.
Zebra's fantastic.
Yeah, and they were like, what? I mean, because it's like a horse, so we weren't thinking about shooting a zebra. But anyway, they went and shot one for the chef, and she cooked it up for him the last night they were there, and they said it was the best animal they ate the whole trip.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
I've never been to Africa, but I've had a lot of these animals here in the States, and zebra is awesome.
That's
just like water buffalo is good.
Yeah.
Zebu is really awesome, and you want to take something that looks like a steer. Zebu straight up looks like a steer.
Yeah.
But and they're hard to kill, but they're super tasty. And that's like wild sheep, I mean, they're phenomenal eating food as well. Like it's not like domestic sheep. I mean, they really do taste phenomenal. Really good meat on them. I just wish it was accessible to more people.
Yeah.
And the only way to do that, I guess, is through the conservation of them to get those numbers up.
Or move our population centers closer to the tops of mountains. That'd be more accessible then than being in our yards.
Yeah, but even when they're in your yard now, you can't do anything with them. It's just like, the deer that come through your yard. They're not your deer. You can't just kill them anytime you want.
Speaking of, I saw a dead deer in front of Dutch Brothers just the other day.
Dutch Brothers coffee?
Must have drank some of their coffee.
Yeah. I can't believe I paid this much. It's just sugar. Now that little wetland park there, I've been in there and seen deer tracks. He's probably just coming across there.
Nice. All right. Well, you got a good word for us, Chet?
I have a good word. I'm gonna pull a passage of scripture. This comes from a while back. I was on vacation with my wife and Troy's parents
Whatever.
We went to Arizona, flew into Vegas and went to Arizona for to celebrate their 50th wedding anniversary. And while we were there, we're driving. We land pretty early in the morning, and we're driving out to. We're going to stop by the Hoover Dam on our way to Arizona, and we stop at a place called Scrambled in Henderson, Nevada, which is a suburb of Las Vegas.
Been there.
To Scrambled?
No, not to Scrambled, to Henderson. Yep.
Fantastic. You need to go. You need to eat at this restaurant if you can. It's just a breakfast lunch place. Phenomenal food. I mean, just fantastic. So anyway, brokenhearted is my word. I'm transitioning. We were there in a good way. We were there, and we had this. The guy that was waiting on our table was just a really friendly guy. Great recommendations, and he throughout the course of whatever, he's completely tatted up. I mean, not like Post Malone, but tattoos everywhere. And notice that on his arm, his right arm, he had a passage of scripture, Psalm 34:18. And it was like the biggest tattoo on his arm. He had a sleeve. And so, interesting. I'm going to look that up. And I did. And I'm going to read you Psalm 34, verses 17 and 18. It said, the righteous cry out, and the Lord hears them. He delivers them from all their troubles. That was 17. Verse 18, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. So I guess the good word would be brokenhearted, in the fact that if you are brokenhearted, the Lord is close to you and he will save those who are crushed in spirit. And it's tied to the righteous crying out and the Lord hearing them. So basically, it's not just everybody's brokenhearted the Lord is there listening to per se, but in this specific passage, just like if you belong to the Lord, he hears your cries and he is there. He doesn't protect you from brokenheartedness, but he's there with you when you're brokenhearted. And a lot of times, I think as believers, we get tied up in the fact that something happened that causes us to be brokenhearted, and we get down because of that. But just know that the Lord is there. He hears your cries. He's close to the brokenhearted, and he saves those who are crushed in spirit. So even if you're crushed in spirit, that doesn't need to mean you should be bitter towards God. You should lean in closer to God because he's there for you in that moment. And it's all to a great guy waiting tables at Scrambled.
From a tattoo.
From a tattoo. So.
Nice.
That's a good word.
I like it.
Thanks for listening to the Hardheaded Podcast. Don't forget to share this podcast with others to help us get the word out.
Also, if you haven't yet, please rate and review the show. This helps our podcast show up in other people's suggested shows that may or may not have listened to us before.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.